Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name is dr.J and this is the 23rd episode of my series How to Complete Hollow Knight. Last time we finished exploring the Deep Nest, defeated the last dreamer and found out she was actually Hornet's mother. Today we'll be mostly traveling around Hallownest Kingdom, tying up some loose ends. It may sound kind of tedious, but it's an important part towards achieving the 112% completion rating. Let's put a dream gate here for after we're done with the hot spring. We'll be using the shortcut we've created in the elevator shaft that connects with the resting grounds. Now we'll just climb the left wall until we reach the pleasure house. Milbel, you thief! I'm taking back all my money. While we're shaking her down, there's a few interesting tidbits about Milbel. Your first thought when you see me collecting geo this way is probably whether it's possible to equip the Greed Charm in order to increase our earnings. Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. The amount we'll get is fixed to 1.5 times what we've given her. Another interesting fact is that when we first met her, if we've had an auto attack charm like the Weaver Song or Grim Child equipped, it would consider her an enemy and attack. Well, this takes a while. Let's try something else. Much better. Well, that was a 50% return of investment. Not bad. And now it's time to go find the person responsible for all these grub kidnappings. We need to enter the Tower of Love using the Love Key. The entrance to the Tower of Love is in the passage between the City of Tears and Kingdom's Edge. Now we just need to use the key. That's quite a lot of jars filled with bugs. It looks like the master of the tower is some kind of scientist maybe? Or perhaps a collector? The collector is a very easy boss fight. His only direct attack is a charge attack. Apart from this, he also likes to jump around and occasionally he'll disappear above the ceiling and start dropping jars which contain different enemies. All of them are very easy to dispatch though. Something important to note is that since he's obviously a void creature, attacking him does not generate souls. The Weaverling Grub Song combo still works for generating soul though. Like I said, a very easy fight. After we deal with him, it's time to go find the last 3 grubs. Also, if you've missed a group, there is a map here that will show you all the group locations. Next we'll get out of the tower and go to the right into Kingdom's Edge for another warrior's grave. You can use any of the exits from the City of Tears to Kingdom's Edge. You don't have to use the route I've chosen. Indeed, it may be even a little bit faster and it's definitely much simpler to just drop to the bottom of this shaft. And then you can use the exit to the right and then the first exit that leads to the upper level. I've chosen to go from the top, but in any case you will eventually get to a shadow barrier that you have to bypass using the shadow dash. Still a bit more going down. And here is the shadow barrier. This is Marcos. He is a member of the Moth tribe that secluded himself in this remote location in order to meditate and find out the lost truth about his tribe. Marcot is similar to Zero not only in appearance but attacks as well. He shoots nails in a way that is easier to avoid than Zero, but to compensate he summons a shield that circles around him, making him more difficult to attack. If possible, the best option would be to pogo jump him constantly, but it is pretty difficult to pull off. Eventually he will also summon a second shield. It is a difficult fight, but thankfully he does not have too much health. After defeating him, we can use the Dream Gate and take the step back to Dirtmouth. And now it's time to collect the rest of our rewards from the Grubfather. Apart from all the Geo, we get also King's Idol and the Gruberfly's Elegy Charm. With Gruberfly's Elegy equipped, we can shoot projectiles when slashing and at full health. The damage is also half that of a normal slash. Any nail damage increasing charms also increases damage for the projectiles. Also, this charm counts only real masks, so any bonus masks for something like Lifeblood Core charm can give you a nice buffer in case you take damage. You cannot use Johnny's Blessing, however, since it makes all your normal masks into blue ones. After we're done here, it's time to visit the seer in resting grounds again. This will be the second to last visit to the seer in this particular guide. However, if you're not interested in the lore or achievements, you may skip the last visit because we'll be getting everything we need from the seer on this trip. You could also decide to skip this visit to the seer and just get everything on the next one. But we'll be going by this place anyway, so it's not much of a detour. From this visit we receive another arcane egg, a mask shard and an upgrade to our dream nail. This upgrade allows us to enter the White Palace as well as unlock a new ending if we use it in conjunction with the Void Heart during the battle in the Temple of the Black Egg. There are certain places where we will need the Awoken Dream Nail in order to visit them. Also, by using it on your shade or siblings, you will insta-kill them. Now we'll go back to the hut I mentioned earlier in the underground caverns of the resting grounds. This is the home of the Grey Mourner. She will ask you to bring a delicate flower to the grave of her lover, the traitor's child. Unfortunately, as the name implies, the flower is delicate and will crumble if a stack or dream gate is used, or we take any kind of damage. And since the grave is pretty far, my advice is to first do the run once and clear all the enemies. The weaker ones will respawn, but it's still better than having to face all of them. In case you have forgotten, the Traitor's Child grave is located in the Queen's Gardens. The path I've chosen to get there is not the only one, but I found it relatively easy, especially if you've already went through it once to clear the enemies. The first part of our journey is going all the way left through the Blue Lake. There is a path through the resting grounds underground that crosses the elevator shaft connecting to the City of Tears. Although the biome looks similar to the City of Tears, we are still technically in the resting grounds. Just jump over the Great Husk and in general try to avoid all enemies. If you haven't done so, talk to Pearl, who's gazing the Blue Lake in order to unlock the Witness achievement. Otherwise, just use the super dash to get over it. Next we'll be entering the Infected Crossroads via the exit above Salubra's hut. Incidentally, there's a skip you could do here by pole jumping on your shade. This will give you early access to the resting grounds. Again, do not bother fighting the enemies and just avoid them. Next we'll be heading towards the fungal wastes. Thankfully you don't have to risk going through the golems. And we're almost at the fungal wastes. And now we'll be heading straight to the Queen Station and its exit to the Fog Canyon. There are very few enemies along this route and not many environmental hazards either. Killing the funglings is actually much safer than risking bumping into them. Okay, so we've reached Queen Station and now we only need to go through the Fog Canyon in order to reach the Queen's Gardens. Again, kill all the Uomas blocking your way and definitely avoid the Uomas. There are not that many enemies in this route through the Queen's Gardens, but unfortunately there are quite a lot of environmental hazards. It's really soul crushing to hit a spike so close to the end of the journey. And here is the last part. Be extremely careful, there are some very nasty spike placements. And we're through! Now keep this place in mind, because if you're going for all endings, you have to take a delicate flower from here and bring it to God home. I'll talk more about that when we get there. For now, we can use the Dream Gates to travel back to the Grey Mourner and get our last mask shard. The Grey Mourner is actually Zemmer, one of the 5 Great Knights of Hallownest. She's also not originally from Hallownest, and this was the reason the Mantis tribe refused her union with her lover. Your reward for easing her burden is the last mask shard we're missing. Now it's time to go visit the Infected Crossroads for the final charm and a dream boss fight. So let's head for the stack station in this area. After arriving at the crossroads, we'll be going towards the False Night boss room. And again, we use a dream gate to save a bit of time. Hey guys, now that we have the walk and dream nail, we are finally able to enter the White Palace. So after a couple of dream boss fights, we'll be doing just that. Stay tuned for the next episode if you want to find out what awaits us inside the White Palace. As always, if you've enjoyed it, please press the like button, and if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. This will really help me to provide better content for you guys. Hope to see you again next time, and until then, have a good one.